Hi guys, this episode is called From Bottle to Bottle because it's about harvesting yeast from commercial bottles and using them to brew a beer. Let's start the film and we come back with the end result. Okay, today we will be harvesting some yeast from this Stiegel Weisse, and I have 4 bottles which I left the yeast behind in, sanitized before I opened and recapped directly. And for this we're gonna boil some water and some DME, and we're gonna use some yeast nutrient. I will make this quite a small starter as I'm going to step this up, so this will be just very small starter for the main starter. So I'm thinking about 30 grams of DME. Yes, about there, to be exact. Now we will bring this to a boil and stir. Down a bit. Some sort of hot break. We'll boil this for about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm gonna add some yeast nutrient. Just a tiny little bit, because this is a very small starter. We're about 8 minutes left, so I will be adding the stir bar to sanitize it. No, it won't melt. I've done this before. And we'll be using sanitized funnel as well. Now we'll pour over the wort. After this is cooled down to room temperature, we will pitch the yeast from our 4 bottles. So we're down to temperature. We'll spray this down with some star sand. Give this a whirl. Get all the yeast out of there. Oh, got a little hiss out of that. And pour it in. Now we will put this on the stir plate and align the magnets and give it a go. Now this will take a few days, and then we will ramp this up to a bigger starter for our beer. So our small starter has been going on the stir plate for about 3 days. So now it's time to boil up some more wort. I guess we'll be doing a 1.6 liter starter. Now they're both at the same temperature. I have the small starter and I have the bigger flask with a new wort. I have a sanitized funnel. What we're gonna do is give this a smell. See if it smells like yeast. Smells like a starter, so no off flavors. And the stir bar have to come along. There went the stir bar. So a small starter is pitched in a big starter. Now let's put this on the stir plate and give it a few days before we can. So let's start up the stir plate. We can hear the stir bar and see some action here. So we're gonna give this at least 2 days. And here we are the next day. See, there have been massive fermentation in there. Now the big starter ready. We have to locate the magnet. Fuck. Now we're gonna collect some if we want to use this yeast again to build a new starter. Find the stir plate. It's gonna find the stir bar, I meant. So, collecting that. Sealing that off from the rest of the world. And then we're gonna put a new air stopper on there. And then we're gonna cold crash this in the fridge until tomorrow, until brew day. So it will cold crash in the fermentation fridge so that we can decant the beer on top of the yeast we have grown up. So we are crushing the grains. So we're up to 55 degrees Celsius. So it's time to mash in. Start with a protein rake. It's the grains. Let's add some grains. The grains are in and we have started the circulation. It's really cloudy, of course. Our protein break are over and now we're raising the temp up to 67 degrees. We're gonna check our pH. That's a little bit high, so we're gonna lower that with some lactic acid. So now, after adding some lactic acid, we're down to about 5.3, 5.4, I would say. That's great. The big starter has been cold crashing for about maybe 22 hours. There's a healthy amount of yeast, small amount of trub even. There's 1.5 liter left after saving some in the other vessel. We have been cold crashing at 0 degrees. We'll now this. I'm gonna pour some in the glass and taste some. It's always good to taste, so you know what you're doing. And the rest I'm gonna throw out. I'm not gonna drink all that. So, we saved some beer. Just a small amount, so that we can stir up the yeast with. And this we're gonna place at room temperature now, so this can be added to the much harder wort. Or if we would pitch this now, we could shock the yeast, and we don't want to do that. Let's taste this. Yeah, we definitely have a great Hefeweizen yeast, because this smell the banana. This actually isn't a very bad beer. It looks great. Of course, the carbonation is extremely low. Actually, think I don't want to pour that out. That's quite a good. That's quite a good wheat beer, I might say, without wheat. And this actually shows how important the yeast is in Hefeweizen. The great success with this is that we now know that we have a good yeast, which will bring excellent flavor to our beer. That's a nice tasting starter. So we're up to a boil now. Gonna drop in our hop filter, hop spider, what you want to call it. Just gonna see if we will have some more hot break. Might be fine. So we're gonna add the 5 grams of green bullet tops. And we're starting the clock, 60-minute boil. The boil is done. We're now cooling the wort down to 38 degrees as speaking. We have to get down a bit more. Aeration stone, which I boiled. This bucket is filled with star sand. Hook this up to the oxygen bottle. And give this 60-second burst. Now let's bring this down to the brew shed and put this in the fermentation fridge and pitch our yeast. So we're down in the brew shed. I'm gonna hook the temperature probe to the side and insulate it. Now we're going to pitch the yeast. I've lost my magnet. Fuck. Now we're going to pitch our yeast. Stir everything up. Find our magnet. Uff. Vad fan! Det är tur. Det är tur. Then we're gonna add the yeast. Last stir. Just to be anal. Close the lid up. And fill up the airlock. I decided to start this at 18 degrees Celsius. So we will set this to 18 degrees. So we're just little bit higher, but the fridge will take care of that. So here's the beer. The beer I brewed was a Session Hefeweizen at 3.7 ABV. So it's a Hefeweizen with a Stiegelite yeast. Call it the thief because of the yeast theft. So let's give it a pour. It's a little darker on camera. In real life it's a beautiful yellow, a massive carbonation, a thick white head, 3-finger head. We get the banana and the wheat. Very clean, very refreshing. Banana and some sweetness from the malt. I'm very happy with the end result. It's got a great mouthfeel and body for being a 3.7% ABV beer. So this experiment turned out great. So cheers again, and 17, Dr. Hans out.